Hey there, guys. Sean Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode 35 of the WinBeta podcast for the week of October 2nd, 2015. With me is co-host Zach Bowden.
Hello.
And this week we'll be taking a look at all sorts of stories. We have quite a bit of news this week, actually, Zach. We got no builds because we got a major event coming on October 6th, and then a bunch of news leading up to that event, including hardware, with the Lumia flagships and other Lumias. We've got stories about Windows 10 market share. You have a little bit of gaming news and other stuff from, what do they call it? I know they call Mountain View is one. What do we call Google when we don't like Google?
Google.
What term do we use to not use the word Google?
Google.
Is it Google? No.
Listen, you say Google, you think of terrible software. So Google. Google it is.
Isn't there like some code word that we use?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, what do you say for Apple? iSheep.
And then we got poll stuff and some other rapid fire news. So that's the brief rundown of today's show. Thank you for joining us as always. For those who are watching this on a rebroadcast, just in case you don't know, you can join us live. You can watch us and then discuss in the comments during the show at winbeta.org/live. Which
Sometimes.
I might even make a t-shirt that just says /live on it.
So everybody knows all the time.
Yeah,
but then what if you're in the street and someone goes, what website?
And then I'll be like, winbeta.org. And they'll be like, oh, I've never heard of that. What do you guys cover? Like Microsoft stuff. And they'll be like, oh, okay.
And then they never visit.
You know what I get all the time?
What?
People say, what do you cover for journalism or whatever? I say, oh, I work for a website. And they say, what do you cover? And I'll say Windows news. And they kind of sit there like this. And I think they think I cover news
about Windows.
About Windows. like literally panes of glass. Like, oh man, this new frosted glass came out last week. You won't believe it. It insulates better than regular glass, has this nice effect. It's called Aero. No, wait.
Wait. See, I wonder if there is a universe for window journalism.
On news aggregators or whatever, like the news app on Windows 10 and previously on Windows 8 or whatever, I would have Windows for a while. I just as a section just said Windows, and sometimes I would get stories about like man breaks windows of local or like what.
See, that's why
that's what I want.
That's why I say Microsoft.
Yeah,
because
it's
more
think
broader.
I work for Microsoft.
Or I just sometimes say technology because technically, right?
We covered Apple. We
did cover Apple,
and we're covering Google. So that's
Google.
Yeah. There you go.
So there you go. We should probably dive into the news.
I guess we could. Whatever.
So our first story this week is regarding builds, as per usual. But this time it's not a new build. In fact, it was Microsoft telling us that there won't be any more builds until at least after the October 6th event next week. Now, what does this mean? It means there's no builds, obviously. But why are there no builds? Most people, I think Gabe said, because we don't have any builds that are worthy of being sent to insiders right now. Even if things in the
I'm not worthy.
Yeah, because there's very few builds that are worthy apparently. But I hear that the reason they aren't doing this is because of next week's event and because they're going to be demoing a little bit of Threshold 2 and a couple of new features. I believe the messaging app will be one feature that will be coming very, very soon. So I imagine that's the reason why they're not releasing any builds this week, so they can have an event where they show it all off and then release it to insiders either on the same day or later next week. So that's probably the reason why. It's quite unfortunate, but I guess Microsoft is Microsoft, and Microsoft are very fond of doing these kind of things.
I guess. I mean, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me because I don't care that much about like that, to be blunt, because I only have one PC. I don't risk it myself. In terms of like covering the news, I don't know. I don't see a reason to not release a build just because you're releasing hardware next week.
It's not. I mean, it's the demo stuff, isn't it? Though they're going to be like, "This is the new messaging app. It's awesome. It does this. It hooks up to your phone," and they kind of don't want people to be using it yet, so they can have the first take on it.
I guess it could be that, and it could also be they don't want to demo the messaging app in a build if the build does not run the messaging app well.
I guess.
Because what if, like, this week they're like, yeah, the new build has integration with the Skype messaging,
but it sucks.
And then the next week they're like, look, you can integrate it. And then they'll Google or Bing or whatever. They'll probably Google because, look, if you're using Bing, you're buying the flagship anyway. Like, let's just... like, if you're a Bing guy or a Bing girl, you're probably already in the whole Microsoft bandwagon. So you'll Google it, and you'll look up, like, messaging, Skype integration, and then you'll see someone saying that it sucks, and then you might get confused. So I guess I could understand that they want that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the reason why. I mean, it always does suck. Every day when Gabe posts no new builds today, a little bit of me dies inside. But, it's for the greater good, or so they think. To be fair, every day that's a day in which a build is not released is a day of sadness.
Yes, yeah, regardless of anything else that happens.
Yes.
My friend has a kid, someone gets married.
No, it doesn't matter. Days. It's just terrible. It's a terrible
sad
day.
Days until you have a new Windows 10
A new build. That's all that matters in life and the universe.
What are you going to do once Windows 10 Mobile is released and stable, and then we aren't getting preview builds as often for either?
Windows 10 Mobile released and stable? Never.
Do you think it'll stabilize by the end of this year?
I hope it was stabilized before that, because it's released in next month.
I guess when I say stabilize, sorry, Windows 10 came out, but there were some bugs that they've been working on with these cumulative updates and Threshold 2. Because Windows 10 Mobile is coming out with Threshold 2, is it going to come out running as well as the PC build?
That would be the idea, because remember they're using the same underlying code and the same build, etc., etc., and all the apps on top of it are kind of the same. So yeah, you would think so.
I would hope so.
Yes.
We shall see.
The circuit condenser says, "Cut the crap, Zach. We know you have builds. I don't have builds." What are you talking about? I'm waiting for Gabe.
You have
Gabe
all the
is
builds,
my
Zach.
build master.
We know you have all the builds.
Not true.
We've seen them.
If I had all the builds, I would show off a lot.
Live stream all week.
Or would I? Maybe I'm a good person.
In any event, speaking of build, no, we don't have this one, but there was a leak of Windows 10 build 10,551. And a couple new features in it. In this, let's see here. Yeah, just make sure. Yeah, it's screenshots leaked, so it's not like the whole thing leaked anywhere. As far as I can tell, there's only 2 major features in this, and I've highlighted them in Microsoft Edge. Here we go. One of the first new features to make its way to the Edge browsing is synchronization of bookmarks. And it's okay, I only get paid to talk. Synchronization and bookmarks and reading lists, which is nice. And that's already in Chrome, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. And then the second feature is, here we go, the middle mouse button, which opens up a new window when you open up the Edge browser from the taskbar if you click it, I believe. So
wow!
I know, Zach. Really mind-blowing.
It's not as funny about that is that was behavior of every Windows 32 app ever in the world anyway. So it's finally it's news that it's finally come to the Edge app is kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, some of this is Edge was built pretty much from the ground up. I think, it started as why don't we fix Internet Explorer? And then at some point in time, they're like, hey, you know what? Everybody hates Internet Explorer, even though it runs pretty well, just because they associate it with bad stuff. So they started Edge ground up. And some of this, I think they're like, hey, this feature that's always been there, we don't have it yet. And somebody was like, okay, well, that's not that hard to add. Because hey, we've been doing this on every program ever apparently, so how hard is it to add to Edge? It can't be difficult. So with some of these features, I think it's just them getting around to adding it. I wish they added it sooner, but whatever.
Yeah, no. This is the thing with Threshold 2. Edge is just what they're doing to Edge is just adding stuff that they were supposed to add originally anyway. I believe extensions are still coming. I would hope so, but nobody's seen them yet.
I need to be able to WhatsApp from Edge.
Yeah,
that's what I need. And, just in time for the messaging app to arrive, so I won't need to WhatsApp from Edge. I'll be able to WhatsApp.
Have you ever heard the saying Rome was built in a day?
I guess.
Edge. Edge feels like it was built in a day as well, on the RTM at least. So they're working on it slowly but surely, and the newer builds. With every new build, new improvements come with Edge. So that's good news.
Have you seen that meme? And it's like I'm a Mac and I'm a PC, and because all you do is browse the web, we're the exact same thing. I feel like for a lot of folks, that's what Edge is. Like they probably just double clicked it because it was there and it looked like the Internet Explorer logo and it worked. Tons of people don't use extensions. Lots of people don't care about which Flash player or video player is running or what coding is in the background. They just want to be able to go to Pinterest or go to, whatever news site they're going to. And that's fine. That's not like a dig. That's just like lots of people use the web as a web browser, not as like a workstation. So I'm more in that category. So I don't really mind for personal use that Edge isn't finished. But from like the way that the culture of a browser having good or bad publicity comes about is because journalists. And journalists use heavy features. So you need those features to be an Edge for journalists to talk about it positively. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. And I mean, with the usage of Edge being so low, I think it's like 2.5% right now. It's like, well, are you surprised? You shipped a half-finished browser.
Yeah.
Also, people in the comments are like, Zach, it's Rome wasn't built on a day. Yes, I know that. That was part of the bloody joke. people, Sean.
People. See, this remember that one podcast where I said some people should just be banned from the internet?
Yeah, all of these people should be banned from the internet.
No, you're all fine. But the longer I work on the web and the longer I'm on the web, it's just like, yeah, that's all right. I can understand, banning people, that'd be great. Banhammer like in Halo or something.
Yeah. Anyway, people. On the note of market share usage in Windows 10, a new number, install base number, was revealed this week.
That's a pretty big number, too.
100 million, yes. They finally surpassed that big 100 million. What does it mean? Not much, because it's not a billion. We've got 900 million more to go, and if you've noticed, before, up until about 75 million, Windows 10 was gaining 25 million users a week, roughly, I believe. And then ever since 75 million, it's slowed down dramatically. It's been a few weeks since that 75 million number was announced by Microsoft. And this week, we've only reached 100 million. So, slowed down quite a lot. But that's to be expected. This isn't a surprise. It was always going to slow down eventually. But with the upcoming Windows 10 for Xbox One, and of course Windows 10 Mobile, although that won't be a huge number, and HoloLens, all the future devices upcoming, that should also continue to bump that number up as well. So 1 billion is still definitely achievable, I would say. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I've said this before. I think that, I don't know about 3 years. I think whenever the support cycle for Windows 7 stops, is going to be a big jump because people will switch over. Enterprises will start switching. Because that's where these numbers are Windows 8, which had a surprisingly high market share. Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 actually still has a surprisingly high market share, considering that Windows 10 is out. If they all switch, Windows 10 will get bumped up. And then eventually, Threshold 2, Redstone, Enterprise will jump in. There's going to be a peak, I think. But honestly, even Windows 8 and 8.1 hit a relatively high number, but it took them a couple years because it meant every new device that was purchased was running it, and everybody that had an old device upgraded. So it'll take a bit for that. And my big argument here, I don't know. I think Microsoft is just going to cover anything that's running Windows 10. So cash points, ATMs, cow ankle bracelets to track breeding patterns, like in that keynote speech. They're all going to count. And if you have 500 cattle and they're all wearing one bracelet, that's 500 devices. And so we're going to see it's every bus terminal that's powered by Windows 10 is going to be counted as a device, even though it's only one little thing. So that's when those numbers will skyrocket. It's when Enterprise jumps in. I think 100 million is pretty good. I mean, it's only been out, like 3 months?
Yeah, and I mean, Windows 7 was 600 million in 6 months? No.
Yeah.
4, I can't remember the number. But it was like, not as fast.
Yeah. There you go. What do you think's going to happen? What if Windows 10 hits like 900 million devices and then kind of plateaus? Are people going to call it a failure?
I call that a success at 900 million.
900 million nonsense. Doesn't have as many digits as they said it would.
I'm fine with 900 million. Microsoft, if you get to 900 million in 3 years, I'll allow it.
That's a lot.
I will allow it. But the 100 million number also means that Windows 10's market share may have possibly passed OS X, which Can that be true? Does OS X only have 100 million users?
Well, this is it's hard to do this sort of thing. We don't have official numbers for OS X usage as far as I know. And sometimes you get stats from one site and then you use them to compare stats to another site, and it kind of gets a little tricky. We had another story, I think, this week about the market share being like in the 6% range. So we don't know exactly where it is. It's certainly, I think, in the range of OS X right now. That's not surprising, though, is it? I mean, Windows 8 beat OS X.
Yeah.
In terms of market share, I mean, not in terms of popularity. Well, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? People liking it versus people using it.
No, yes, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's past OS X, would you?
I wouldn't be surprised, no, not really. It's OS X after all.
I admit, I mean, I know we've talked about it. People seem to think that they can't mention Apple products around us, so we'll like throw a computer at them. Or we'll take an apple and throw it at their head. But to me, I love PCs. I grew up with PCs.
Me too.
I learned at school. That was before Chromebooks started being really popular in school, which people say that, I don't know if it's true or not. But that was before that was the thing. So I learned Word and PowerPoint and Excel for a long time. That was the only way I knew how to make a spreadsheet or a presentation. And the only format I knew was a start menu. So for me, Microsoft is really native. And so OS X has always seemed foreign. I never had to do anything if I were forced to be on an Apple computer. And I just don't like it. And for me as a user, it doesn't provide anything that I can't do already. But other people love it, and that's their thing. But I don't think there's nearly as many of them as you would expect. Like press coverage versus like usage, those are not even close.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, yes, the whole 100 million number is pretty good, but I also just remember off the top of my head that Windows 10 is also doing pretty well with the gaming audience. On Steam,
Yeah.
I think it has like 25% market share now, which isn't too
25% of all Steam users.
Windows 10 pretty off to a good start, I would say.
Is that because of DX12?
Probably, or just people upgrading for the free upgrade thing. I mean, I was playing City Skylines the other day on Windows 10. I bought it ages ago, but I only just launched it the other day once I'd set this up and tried it out, and I thought I'd been playing for about 20 minutes. 2 hours later, and I was like, wow, this game is awesome. So I've been playing that ever since. My city's really messy though. It's really annoying. I can't clean it up.
I'm so nervous to get back into gaming because like when I was single or when I was young, I would game like all day. I'd like buy a game, beat it, you just play it till you're done and complete everything, max out every stat, max out every level. You want to, start getting online rankings or whatever. And I'm so nervous to go back to that because these games are so awesome that I'm afraid if I open that door again, it's going to be a problem. Especially with some of these new games that you can play anywhere and do anything with. It's pretty impressive.
It is. And I also just realized it's Halo 5 month.
That's true. Oh, that's true. And Halo 5 comes out 2 days after my birthday. I'm so upset that I don't have an Xbox.
It also comes out the same day as the Xbox One Elite controller.
Yeah, well, that's not a coincidence, I'm sure.
No, absolutely
there will be
not.
people who never play Halo 5 with a regular Xbox controller.
I will hopefully be one of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Depending.
Are you excited for the Elite controller?
Absolutely. I can't wait to try it out.
Do you think it'll make that big of a difference?
I have no idea. I haven't tried it out yet. I'm not a professional gamer by any means, but even I think I could benefit from it.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll have like regulations and stuff on like these Halo?
Oh, I reckon gaming competitions will be like either it is the only Elite controller or the standard controller. You can't have a mix because then it's not fair, right?
I would hope so.
Halo 5, will it run at 1080p 60 frames per second? Yes, I believe so.
I have no idea. We'll ask what's his face from the Mission Impossible.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Hey Simon, does it run at 1080p?
Get him on the show and ask him about Halo 5.
Whenever he decides to come on the show and he's not busy making movies.
Mm-hmm. People say this all the time. They say, "Get Gabe on." Look, you get Gabe on the podcast, I'll give you £20.
I'll give you £200.
Like, you get Gable on this podcast, I will pay you. And if you get same with Simon Pegg or somebody that we deem is important enough, if you get them on the show, I will pay you money. So yeah, there's that. Oh, I saw another movie this week that had Windows advertising in it. I saw The Martian.
Has that really got Windows advertising in it?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. It's more like, you know, like sometimes you watch a movie and they just happen to be using a device and you spot it because you know that device.
Oh, I see. Okay.
One of the scientists was using a Surface.
So is it Windows 10 on Mars?
No, I don't think so. GoPros are heavily featured in that film. He films himself with a GoPro like the entire movie.
Oh, okay.
But it's a good film. But yeah, there was a Surface in it, and I was like, oh, look at the Surface. So there you go. In any event, so that's the Windows 10 news for this week, right?
Pretty much. I think that's all.
Yeah. So jumping on to Windows 10 Mobile. Let me see here.
I just realized I'm not going to mention it, but in the OneNote, that's quite funny.
So I don't know, Zach, if you want to screen, some people are asking us to do screen sharing, but I know that we have a lot of audio listeners, so I feel bad doing that. But whether we do that or not, we had images that have been revealed of the Lumia 950 and 950 XL, and these aren't renders; they're actual images by a leaker. And I don't know, they look pretty good. They have marking all over them. I guess that's normal for like.
That's because they are being censored because of the prototype devices have a special marking on them, which can pretty much trace them back to whoever owns it and get them fired from their job. So
did somebody get fired because of these photos?
Well, the initial leak, batch leak of these images were uncensored. The back of the device was completely uncensored, but it was really small, so I don't think it was readable.
This is uncensored on our page right now.
But it's really small. Can you see any of the details?
No.
No, well, there you go. And the higher res images were censored, so maybe he got away with it. I have no idea.
I have no idea. In any event, let's talk about how they look. I'm gonna. Do you want to share?
I've already got an image up. It's fine.
Okay, great. So looking at the 950 first, I mean, they look a lot like the renders. To me, the little metal ring sticks out quite a bit. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it looks like a smooth back. Looks nice. I love how it's bezel, like there's almost no bezels on the side there, at least from these photos. And then the 950 XL, they look pretty good too. What do you think of the metal ring?
I think it looks better on the white back than the dark one.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta say that front display looks really good on the 950.
It looks nice.
That's really attractive, very smooth. 950 XL, to me, it looks like what we expected. It's kind of like an 830 mixed with a 1520.
Yeah.
They're pretty attractive little devices. So yeah, people said at first this, oh, these are so ugly, and then when you see them, people always said, they said, wait a sec. Wait till it's in your hand. Well, these aren't in your hand, but they are real photos, and they look pretty good to me. I like them.
I mean, it's a Lumia, right? It's what Lumias look like.
Yeah, well, that's even more true for the 550, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, I don't have an image of that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't have an image of that, so I can't show that.
They also, didn't these pictures confirm dual SIM?
Well, I guess yes, but these are prototype devices, remember? Like the hardware, you can never say it's final.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not sure if this confirms dual SIM, but I mean, it's possible.
We had a bunch of things show up this week. You know, things popping up on stores, pre-orders for devices showing up early, even though they're not actually announced. We haven't got pricing yet, but almost every detail I think about these devices. We have RAM, we have processors, we have size, speed, specs, micro SD up to 2 terabyte. I guess that's not really, isn't every device up to 2 terabyte for micro SD?
Say that again, sorry.
Isn't every device up to 2 terabytes for micro SD? Isn't that's like a built-in thing?
Well, theoretical 2 terabytes.
Yeah, so I mean, there aren't even 2 terabyte micro SD cards now. There's 128 gig, which is pretty good.
There is.
But not 2 terabytes.
I'm sure you can find. Let's see. Let's go.
2 terabytes?
Amazon.
That's bigger than some external hard drive.
1 terabyte. Let's try 1 terabyte.
There's no way you can get a micro SD card that's 2 terabytes. I'm going to say 128 or 256 is the max right now.
228, that's a standard SD card. Micro SD, 16 gigabyte. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah. In any event. So we got a lot of details out about these devices. Micro SD is confirmed. I think some people were questioning that. I think that's going to be a pretty standard feature on these Lumias. I hope it is. So, yeah, I think these look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are saying SDXC is up to 128. That was bumped up recently, though. It was 64 only just like a year or two ago.
There's a 200 gigabyte one here.
Yeah, see, there you go. I think, that's about the limit, though.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for now, though.
Someone's telling me I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm wrong about because there's a delay. And they aren't being specific enough.
It's just like whatever. Move on.
In any event, so I think they look pretty good. Obviously, you can't fully judge based on these, but I think these pictures look better, or our people are receiving them better than the renders in the past. So that's a good thing for them.
Yeah. No, yeah, the 200 gigabyte micro SD card is a thing. SD's standard, normal SD
like
cards,
full size SD cards.
I think a bit bigger. But someone said the max is 120 gigabytes. Well, in theory it's 2 terabytes, right? I'm sure it is.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Cadenza's just gone, I am wrong. Anyway, move on.
in any event, moving on from that, I think they look pretty good. Do you have anything you want to add about those device images, though?
No, I don't. Also, just to clarify, Cadenza said he's wrong himself, not I'm wrong. He's wrong.
Aha. So. See, pronouns, very tricky.
There you go. Just to clarify, just so everybody knows, Cadenza's wrong.
There you go.
Everybody knows it.
Then we got one more on the
city.
images here. It's just the Lumia 550. These are renders, though, right? Yeah, these are press renders.
These are renders, which I don't have on hand, so I can't show anyone.
There were also some press renders of the 950, but I thought with real images it would be better to just go ahead and do that.
I like how what you've said here. It says the Lumia 550 AKA looks like a Lumia.
It does.
It does.
This looks exactly like what you would expect the Lumia to look like.
Yes. It said Lumia. It's a Lumia 550. It's not an
corners,
iPhone 550.
Polycarbonate, little camera with a little dimple. They added a Windows logo, which is nice, I guess. That's their universe, because that's on Surfaces, and now it's going to be on the Lumias as well. But I don't think there's anything groundbreaking about these devices other than that. In terms of these renders, obviously, we don't know.
You know what? I'm going to buy 15.
15 Lumia 550.
Why not?
That's a bit weird.
No.
Why would you do that?
I'm not going to. I'm going to be poor by the end of October, I think.
Oh, definitely, because you got Halo 5.
I've already got Halo 5 technically, though, so.
Surface Pro 4.
I probably won't buy the Surface Pro 4. I don't need it.
Lumia 950 XL.
If they announce a Surface laptop, then I may have to buy that.
What if the new Surface Pro 4 works like this new Dell XPS 12 that the specs are coming out about? Where it's a fully detachable keyboard, but also
no,
it's basically a Surface laptop, but made by Dell.
An actual laptop, not one that detaches. Like a full-on hinged laptop.
What if it was a hinged laptop that also detached?
Nah, but I don't need it. I've got Surface 3.
That doesn't matter.
It does.
What if you could hook up? What if they came out with a keyboard that was just a hard hinged keyboard for the Surfaces?
I guess it would be a good idea, yeah, but I wouldn't buy that.
It won't, I don't think.
No, they'll probably come out with here's a Surface 4, and it looks like the Surface 3, and that's it.
iPad Pro Pixel C Surface.
The Surface Pro 4 running Android.
Yes, exactly. The Surface Pro 4 can run Android through an emulator.
Which is why they're going to ship it with Android. Because why not? No, the Surface Pro 4 running Windows 10 Mobile. Core i7 device running mobile. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, there you go.
I wonder how well that would sell. I'd buy one just to try it out.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see with all these. I did the poll we'll get to the poll in a bit anyway, with this week. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of excitement, but that's among our communities. I don't know who I was talking to the other day about this. So anyone that's excited about the Lumia 950 and 950 XL is already excited about them. There's no buzz, I think, in the press about this Microsoft event. Apple holds a keynote, world goes nuts. Google holds a keynote. I don't think the world went nuts because I think most people looked at Chromecast, now flat and circular and has audio. And I don't think people were as thrilled about that. And the Pixel C, I don't think blew people out of the water. But with Microsoft, do non-Microsoft techies freak out about this the same way they do about Apple stuff?
No. No.
So, like, the Surface Pro 4 isn't going to get as much acclaim as the iPad Pro did.
Well, the Surface Pro is a little different because people like the Surface Pro.
That's true.
People don't like Lumias or Windows Phone. So it makes sense for that not to get much attention, whereas the Surface Pro devices probably will. Because let's be fair, this year alone, we've had Apple and Google and other OEMs come out with a Surface Pro clone. So that confirms in itself that the Surface Pro is some kind of winner in a way, because it started this trend. And just like how Apple started the smartphone trend, I guess, with the whole, capacitive touchscreen or whatever else they've done with the iPhone, Microsoft has started this 2-in-1 trend with the Surface and all that good stuff. So
it is nice, though, because Microsoft has been behind the curve on some devices like smartphones, and they were so far ahead of the curve on tablets that didn't work, and then somebody else did it, and then they were behind the curve. So with the Surface, I think it's good that they're ahead of it, and it's obviously being picked up. It's one of the only devices that I think people are really, like you said, they generally are saying this is successful. That's why it changed what Apple did. That's a big deal when Apple's changing what they do because of a Surface. That's a good indicator of success. Mm-hmm. So
you've heard loads of people saying they've heard of some kind of surprise or something unexpected for this coming event. I talked about this a few weeks ago, I believe. I'm sure I said it on the podcast.
I have no idea. I don't mention things you tell me because I don't know if I'm supposed to say them.
I'm 100% sure I mentioned it on one of the podcasts that I was told to expect something unexpected from the upcoming event. And now a number of other people have also said similar things. So I'm just thinking about what this could be and theories, trying to guess, I guess. I don't know anything. So this is what I'm thinking.
You don't know anything.
Don't know anything.
Dumb as a doornail. Doesn't know a thing.
What if it's a Surface Mini?
I would love that.
But running Windows 10 Mobile.
Nah, I doubt it.
No, but because remember, Windows 10 Mobile does run on tablets.
Well, it runs on tablets 7 inches and under.
7.99, isn't it? So it could technically
they'd have a Surface that was 7. Oh, hold on a sec. Woo. Oof, I was opening up to check something on the actual live stream on YouTube. Sorry about that, folks.
But because think about it, because remember the Surface line is the reason it exists is it's supposed to be setting the bar and kind of being the product line for Windows that does things first. So with the Surface RT and the Surface Pro, it was Microsoft saying, okay, OEMs, this is what we can do it better. And maybe with the Surface Mini, which I just mentioned, maybe, could that be a thing that they announce?
Could it be? Sure. Do I want it to be? Absolutely. Not just absolutely, but absolutely.
Because think about it, a device around this size. I'm so glad I had that on hand. Look how broken it is. It's a HP Stream 7, but it's so broken.
Oh, there you go.
It runs. It's actually working though. It's just got a cracked screen. But imagine a device this size, or maybe a little bit bigger, with pen support, running a simple OS such as Windows 10 Mobile, with the ability to have continuum for phones, so you can do it to desktops and stuff, have mouse and keyboard support when needed, and it's big enough to write notes down, and has the full Office mobile suite. Because remember, the reason the original Surface Mini didn't make it to the market was because of the operating system, which was, I believe, Windows RT, and the Office apps, which was the desktop version of Office 2013. So now they've got a good mobile operating system, I would say, and good mobile Office apps. Why wouldn't they release a Surface Mini now?
All right, now let me say, based on what you just said, what would you get with your setup that you wouldn't get with an 8-inch Surface with pen support running full Windows 10 with SIM card or not SIM? What would you call it? With the data plan, 4G LTE thing, because you still have Office Mobile, you'd still have pen support, it'd still be a little tablet, you could still write notes on it, but Continuum would be even better. Instead of a desktop-like experience, you'd have quite literally a desktop experience.
Well, first things first, it's a small tablet. When I bought this, it came with Windows 8.1. Never went to the desktop, really.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you were going to use it as... my girlfriend has an Asus VivoTab Note 8, which is an 8-inch tablet running Windows 10 that has pen support. So it's similar to what you said. Almost always use it as a tablet. I've never used it as a desktop. But if you are pushing Continuum and it had ports like a Surface does, like a Type-C connector or something like that, then instead of Continuum Mobile, which is desktop-like, you just have a straight-up desktop but powered through your tablet. So when you hold it, always a tablet. Continuum, absolutely full desktop. Not a phone, desktop-like Continuum thing.
Interesting. I see where you're going with that, but I think it's too early for that because I don't think Microsoft is ready to do that with the software.
I can do that now on the VivoTab Note 8 in terms of... So I don't know if I can do the screen mirroring, might have to be through Miracast, but I can use a micro USB to USB connect adapter and then it hook up everything. So I could have an Ethernet cable, a webcam, and everything, and then a monitor through Miracast, but it's all run through the little 8-inch tablet. I think that's...
Oh, no, yeah, they could absolutely do that, but...
I think that's what they should do if they make a Surface Mini. I don't think that gets them anything.
I think mobile... But again, the whole Surface line is supposed to be setting the standard. And someone's got to do it first.
We'll see. I mean, it depends. I think maybe...
Because I'll be honest, I don't think the tablet mode on Windows 10 right now is that good. I don't think it is, especially on a small tablet, especially. It just doesn't feel good. Whereas I imagine... when you're using Windows 10 Mobile, it feels a lot better as like the start screen. It just feels a little more native as a touch operating system. Don't you agree? Like, it just feels...
I admit it. Someone pointed out split screening. Windows 10 Mobile doesn't support split screening right now.
That is 100% true. But again, it's a small tablet.
I think here's when I think this could be. What if when they release an Intel-powered phone, they release the Surface Mini with it then?
Maybe.
Because then you're running a mobile operating system that's basically a mobile plus tablet plus desktop. It's just an operating system. It's Windows as Windows. That's what they could say. They could say, this is the best thing to happen to Windows since Windows. And then everyone's like, ha ha, I see what you did there. So I don't think the Surface Mini is going to be announced. I think they probably put that dead on arrival and they're going to let that die for a while until they really have a game changer.
Yeah. No, okay, yeah. I was just,
But no, I see what you're saying.
Making conversation.
I definitely see merit in your argument. I think... You're right. Windows 10 for tablets is a bit awkward right now, I think. Like I said, I have an 8-inch tablet. I have a tablet that's the size that you're talking about that supports a stylus and has Office Mobile on it. So it's a lot of the things that you're talking about, and the interface is a bit awkward. I admit that.
Right.
So yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. What else do we have this week? We kind of went off track here. Oof, Xbox Live. Hey, that went down, Zach. You have an Xbox.
Doesn't it always go down?
Yeah, I guess you could talk about how Phil Spencer responded.
Didn't he say like, yeah, I agree. It should be better.
Yeah, I don't know. So it was down this week. I have no idea how long for. I don't have an Xbox. I was kind of out this week. Any news? I honestly don't know. Xbox Live goes down more than it should. It
does. It goes down an awful lot, and they do really need to sort that out.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
Too many users?
No. It's annoying as well because people who use the service pay for it as well, and it's down half the time.
Yeah, that's true. It's not free or anything.
No. If it was free, I'd understand, like, whatever, it's free. But I'm paying good money to be on that service. Why is it down?
It's not exactly cheap. What is it per year now? Is it like $50 a year? Zach?
Say that again, sorry.
How much is Xbox Live Gold per year?
It's like $49.99 or $39.99 a year.
Yeah,
Pounds.
I mean, sometimes you can get like the Play Work bundle or whatever.
Yeah, you can get it for cheap. You can like do different things. Like a month is like $6.99, and 3 months is like 15 quid, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though because Xbox Live has been around forever. Like this should be fixed. This shouldn't be an issue anymore. So I don't know, but it was down. It's back up. Phil Spencer and them apologized, I guess. So there's that.
I would hope so too. I want my money back. No, I'm joking.
That's a server thing though, right? That's not like an Xbox related. That's like their server stuff related, I assume.
Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully that'll get fixed over time. I have no idea though. They haven't fixed it yet. Why would they fix it now? Zach, did you tune into the Google keynote at all this week?
No. Who cares? It's Google.
Did you see the Pixel C though?
I saw a picture. I thought it was the Surface.
I saw hands-on. When we had the iPad Pro, we dedicated like 20 minutes to trolling it.
Let's do the same now.
No, this isn't even worth it.
Is it Android?
It's Android.
But it's a Pixel. Pixel runs Chrome OS.
I don't think. I mean, comment section. Let me know. I'm pretty sure it runs Android Marshmallow, which is not a desktop operating system.
No. But
well, nobody other than Microsoft has an operating system that's desktop and tablet.
Here's the thing I've noticed as well with both Apple's iPad Pro and this Pixel C thing, both of which have like kickstands that are terribly implemented.
Well, they're not really kickstands.
They're not they're keyboard stands,
keyboard.
really. But the keyboard as well. They're both terribly implemented, but they both don't have trackpads. They both expect you to type and then tap the screen. Usually, when I'm typing, I would much rather use a trackpad, and then when in tablet mode, prefer just to use a finger, right? I can't see. I don't ever use the Surface 3 in keyboard with the keyboard and then reach. I just usually use the trackpad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, this is what I mean. Here's some flaws, and what's amazing is they didn't learn from other people's mistakes. Like, you should look at the Surface and see what did Microsoft change from the Surface Pro 1 to 2 to 3, etc. Trackpads have been improved. Because the Surface, remember the original Surface Pros had trackpads and people said they weren't good enough, which proves that people want a good trackpad. Now you're replacing a laptop without a mouse?
See, this is the thing. If Microsoft was to have done the whole Surface cover thing without a trackpad, do you think people would have complained?
I would have got slammed. I'll give you another one. How did they not figure out that the Surface, the original Surfaces only had one angle, but then it went to multiple angles, and then it went to, with the 3, it went to infinite angles, and this 3 has 3 angles. So you could at least do multiple. These, because they're working with not even a kickstand, it's like a little keyboard flippy thing. You only get the one viewing angle, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's from the Surface, not the Surface, from the iPad Pro shots, it looks too far up. It looks like the original Surface RT's position, which is too up.
And then the other thing with all of this is, and the reason that now we're starting to really appreciate the kickstand on the Surface is so great, because you can use it as a kickstand without a keyboard attached. So if you're cooking, you can just leave it on the table upright on the kickstand, and it can be there. You don't need to have a keyboard to have it have a kickstand.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a Pixel C or an iPad Pro, you can just carry around your tablet, but you can't place it on your desk or your bed or your kitchen counter without a kickstand, some sort of keyboard attachment. So I'm just really surprised that these people, because we all copy each other. Like, let's admit that. Like, I know we trolled Apple. That's fun to do. But all the companies they copy each other. But you should learn from each other's mistakes, right?
Yeah.
What?
Just the police car going by.
Yeah, well, that's the Google police.
They're here to arrest you, Sean. You're talking about too many secret things.
I didn't. No. So, to me, I don't know how they didn't learn from the past mistakes.
No.
And it's still running a tablet operating system. Like 5 years down the line, we're going to be able to look in, maybe not even 5 years, but look, say, Windows 10 came from Windows 8 being somewhat of a failure but having redeeming qualities. And Windows 10 is what their efforts to make an operating system that runs on everything. And with these devices, with the Pixel C and the iPad Pro, you're seeing why Windows 10 exists. You might not, honestly, Windows 7 might be perfect for your non-touchscreen desktop. But for devices like this, you need an operating system that can run on tablets and desktops. And nobody has that except for Microsoft.
Right, yes, exactly.
So, I don't know. Or, as I said in the headline, you thought the iPad Pro was a cheap Surface knockoff.
Meet the Pixel C. That should be their tagline.
Yeah, I could see someone do one of those YouTube videos about it. All right, Zach, I got a question for you.
Go on then.
What device are you most excited about for the event next week?
That's a difficult question. I'm going to say the Lumias.
Okay, give me your reasoning, because I've been talking for like 90% of this podcast, I feel like.
Because I need a new phone. And I like Windows Phone. And I don't need a Surface Pro.
Which Lumia do you want?
The bigger one.
The bigger one?
The big one.
The XL one.
The XL. I need a... Listen, I've only ever had medium-sized phones. I guess the 5-inch when... See, I had... With my first Windows Phone, I had a HTC Mozart, which was sort of 3.8-inch, which was already bigger than the iPhone 4. But wasn't as
everything's
big.
Bigger than the iPhone 4. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, but I mean, back
that
then...
was back before everybody realized we wanted like phones.
Back then, 3.5 inches was kind of like the size everybody wanted. And then I cut the HTC Titan. Was that a 7.8 phone? Or Windows Phone 7 phone? I can't remember. Either way, when the Lumia 900 came out, that was a 4.4 inch or 4-point-something inch phone, which I kind of wanted to reach into this 4-inch area. Never did. I eventually bought an 820, which was a 4.3-inch device, which I thought was huge at the time. But wow, it's so big. Then I got a 925, which was 4.5 inches. And I tried out a Lumia 1520 for a while to review it, but then I had to send it back. I loved it. It was great. And then I got, obviously, the 930. So the only phones I've ever had are up to 5 inches. I've never had anything bigger. And I think it's time. Sean.
It is time to grow up. You have man-sized hands. It's time to use a man-sized phone.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I'm ready for 5.7 inches of Windows Phone.
I also want to say that the Lumia 950, the non-XL, just the regular 950, is not 5 inches. It's 5.2 inches. And the Lumia 950 XL is not 6 inches. It's 5.7 inches.
Yeah, strange.
So you're adding half an inch on the diameter.
So I should just get the 950 on its own and be like, yes, it's a bigger device.
Well, but that's what I mean. If you look, like here is a Lumia 930, which I believe, I don't know if it's 5 or 5.2, but the difference between 0.2 of an inch is not that big. So you're looking at this is the 950.
Yeah.
Like that's the 9. It's like, it's not, like it doesn't, I don't think it affects pocketability that much. Like this is a 950 with a case. So I think a Lumia 950 XL without a case is probably only a little bit bigger on the diagonal than this. That's not going to be that much harder to fit into your pocket. That's not going to be hard to take care of. This isn't 5 to 6. An inch is pretty noticeable on the edge. You know, that's you know, something that would affect where you carry it. Do you need to start having a shirt pocket? I can't put this in my skinny jeans. You know, that sort of thing. I don't think a half inch makes that big of a difference in terms of that. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, the jump from 5 to 6 inches is a big one.
But 5.2 to 5.7, how big?
I imagine you would notice it.
I guess you'd notice.
You would notice it even when you have your phone in your pocket. I reckon you'd notice it.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I guess. Oh, someone also they pointed out. Yeah, on-screen keys. I think
you can swipe them away.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I think the Lumia. I have a 640 somewhere lying around here, and the Lumia 6. In fact, you might be able to see it on top of that microwave. The Lumia 640 has the on-screen keys, and I think it maximizes the screen real estate or the display acreage. Yes, display acreage. There we go. Anyway, I think it utilizes it much better. So I think what you're going to get with the Lumia 950 XL is you're going to hold it in your hand and you're going to be amazed at how much they fit onto a device that feels much smaller than it is because it manages to use all the space, right. Which is great. I think that's a big benefit of on-screen keys and some of the almost no bezels on the side. So I think people will be pretty impressed with the 950 XL. I haven't held the thing, but I think that's going to happen. I think
have
you?
No.
You
or
watch.
Have I?
1 week from now, I'd be willing to bet you're going to hear this phrase. The 950 XL, 5.7 inches, but it doesn't feel like that in your hand. They've really maximized how much area is used on a phone this size. You're going to hear that in like every quick hands-on review at the keynote when people are flipping around and checking out the flip cover and the pen support. They're all going to say that. That's right. My prediction.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Anyway, so a poll this week, that's what it was on. Look at that segue. Woof. Someone complimented the segue. Thank you, Julie. It said, which device are you most excited to see at the October 6th event? I was tempted to push this off till next week, but we're going to have specs specific next week, so we'll be clamoring about that. And we might have guests coming up and that sort of thing about the new devices. So we got to figure all this out. I wasn't surprised by the results. Lumia did well, but nowhere near as good as the Surface Pro 4. Over 1,200 votes, 50% on the dot. Oh, it actually is. It's literally on the dot. 609 out of 112. Yeah, there you go. Literally 50%. Surface Pro 4. Next was Lumia 950 XL. Next was the Lumia 950. And then little contender, the Microsoft Band 2, came in with 11% of the votes. So there you go.
I can't wait.
You know what's interesting?
What?
They went down in size. They went Surface Pro 4, XL, non-XL, Band 2. What if we had like an IoT device? It'd be like...
No percent.
Yes, no percent. Not percent, exactly. So yeah, there's that. Well, that's the poll this week. Not too surprising. We have polls every week, as we do. They were supposed to come out on Wednesday, but I stopped writing every day this week and wasn't in on Wednesday. So there's that.
Sean now technically doesn't work for us.
Yes, I do. I do the podcast and I do polls and I might do some features.
Sean's never here no more.
Well, no, I got uni and I'm playing American football this year. I'm a busy man.
Sean's more popular than all of us.
That's true. No, have you seen your Twitter followers?
That doesn't make me popular.
They're plenty.
Have you seen the people who follow me? God.
What do you mean it doesn't?
I'm joking.
It's like a concrete example of what popularity is. It's how many people like you enough to follow you.
They don't like me. I assume they follow me just because of my awesome insider news.
I suppose that might be it.
My insider bits with a Z.
All right, Zach, are you ready for the portion of the podcast where we even out how much I've talked with how much you talk?
No.
Oh, no? Well, we're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
All right, this is this week's rapid fire. We need like a sound effect. Like a whoosh.
I'll get one set up for next week.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So rapid fire. All right, the I'm a PC guy, from the commercials, I'm back on PC.
Yes.
He's now a voice actor for Minecraft.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wait, but is he a main character?
He joins the Minecraft story mode cast.
Does he say I'm a PC at any point?
I really hope so.
Me too. I don't know how that would tie into Minecraft, but I want him to say it anyway.
They got some pretty big names. They got Patton Oswalt from King of Queens and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They got some pretty big. But yeah, I guess he's on there. John Hodgman. They have these. We have the parentheses. So it goes Patton Oswalt, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., King of Queens, in parentheses, and then it says John Hodgman, PC versus Mac. Doesn't even mention that he was on the Daily Show or Community. It's just that he was in these commercials. Anyway, all right. Test patch sent out for Windows 7 users. Zach, what was this? What is this? What was going on
Microsoft did a bad. They were testing patches for Windows 7, I believe, and they accidentally pushed one out. And people thought Windows Update had been compromised and viruses and the end of the world. But no, it was just Microsoft doing a bad internally. That's pretty much it.
All right, and then you got, let's see here, Color is now available in the Windows Store listings for some apps.
Color? I'm so glad I was going blind with all the non-color.
Pretty soon we'll have title bars.
Actual colored title bars.
I know, it'll be nice.
Yes, but yeah, no, you know what? I think this looks nice.
It does look nice, and it gives you that feel. I admit, there was a bit where I tried, there was like an app, and it made transparent tiles for different services. So you could have like a transparent Facebook Live. Well, it wouldn't be a live tile. It's just a tile on your phone. And I tried it. But after a while, it was like, this doesn't look right. Facebook is supposed to be blue. Like Vine is supposed to be green. This doesn't work. So, yeah, it's nice that they do that in the store, too. Excuse me. All right, then. Well, that's it for this week. Did we miss anything?
Don't think so.
If we did, someone will tell us, and then we'll just insert it and see if anyone notices.
Which nobody did last week.
Which is amazing, because I only have headphones on for one of the segments, and it's right in the middle. It goes, no, it's like wireless, wired, wireless, and no one noticed, or no one said anything. Anyway, all right, well, that's it, I guess. This has been the WinBeta Podcast, episode 35 for the week of October 2nd, 2015. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK, which can also be found Hello. There you go. And the other host of the show is Zach.
You can find me on Twitter at ZachB_.
There you go. We're still trying to get him at Zach or at Zach B.
Or Zach Bowden.
Or, yeah, any of these. No underscores. What's up with the underscores? In any event, so there's that. And, yeah, you can find WinBeta on Twitter at WinBetaDOT.org. You can find us on Google+, Facebook, all sorts of stuff. Follow us. I will place an extra plug for next week. October 6th, we're going to have a ton of news. We got RSS feeds to follow. We'll have podcasts. We're going to have at least one guest following this event. I don't know when. We're going to work that out. But we got lots of coverage coming up because there's going to be all these devices that we're talking about. So make sure to tune in next week, not only to the podcast, but also to WinBeta proper, or WinBeta as a whole, whatever, with actual text on the webpage and for all of our videos and that sort of thing. So thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you on the next one.